We've got something interesting on the chart right here because Bitcoin managed to break above that absolutely essential $69,000 area. That was the previous all-time high Bitcoin set like 2.5 years ago in 21. And since then, we have kind of started to slowly dip back down here with a very interesting chart pattern that we're going to be covering in this YouTube video. There is a lot that I'm very excited to go over with you in this video, but none of this stuff is important if you can't take advantage of it. And I want to highlight to you guys the phenomenal opportunities available with the links below. There's going to be a new link between these two for Bybit where you're actually going to be able to get access to a competition with a $2.3 million prize pool. Absolutely huge stuff going on here. There's a lot of details that I'll go into later on, but check it out because they're giving you a free $500 Bitcoin position on Bybit as well. Huge offers and some phenomenal no KYC alternatives as well, giving you more big bonuses, more free capital that you can throw into the market. So that is sick. But let's get into the video here because this is much more interesting in terms of what's actually taking place on the chart right now. What we're seeing is that next run to challenge that all-time high, but we managed to get stopped a little bit short. And where we stopped here is actually much more interesting. I've actually drawn it on this chart a little bit more clearly just to illustrate this resistance area, which is basically, you know, more or less exactly what we imagined. To be honest, it should be tighter. Yeah, let's say a little bit more like this, you know, basically stretching from exactly $70,000 up to 71.5. And the reason I'm looking at this price range in particular is because we had this interaction over here. We had a little bit of interaction right here, you know, and these things definitely, you know, make, you know, a case for this area being strong and important, you know, and with that in mind, we've already started to see some rejections here, but down to what levels? This is where things get really interesting, and there's actually a potential position that I'm interested in looking at in this market right now, you know, because we do have really good support basically right where the price is falling into right now. This block right here is the best support Bitcoin has until it comes down to the very low 60s again, right? Until like the 60K, 61K kind of price zone. You could even stretch this box all the way up to, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it, 60 to 61 for sure. You know, but if we lose this one, then we're down here. As long as this one holds, I think that we're not actually looking that bad, right? And there's a few different ways I can show that to you. One of the first ways I want to show that to you is by just looking at this. For example, with the Ichimoku cloud, we haven't seen a massive development of this resistance, right? Because the price has been pushing higher. So that shows us when the market turned bearish, we couldn't really do anything with that. Now, on the daily time frame, we haven't quite seen that support yet, which is unfortunate. But with momentum, we've already been able to use it. And that's another really strong sign for this market, potentially telling us that we might not need a strong pullback. But even if we do have a strong pullback, the very bottom of it puts us at the best price range ever, you know, for a potential buy. It's not the best price range ever, but it's the best one we've got right now, in my opinion, because especially now that we've managed to bounce up this high, you know, if we come back down, we are going to come down with a lot of force. You know, I don't think it's going to be a soft landing, but, you know, we're probably, you know, it's going to be nicely equally spaced out. We're probably going to see at least something, right? I'm not saying we're going to, you know, rocket up to 100K from there, but at a minimum, you know, we'd see like 64 potentially, right? Some sort of nice bounce. And then if you really think we're going to collapse, then okay, it's probably going to be on a subsequent attempt after that. And I think that's important. I think that's good to know, right? Because it kind of tells us where, you know, if things don't quite go the way we expect, there are some really nice buy levels that we can consider, and that's definitely something I'd be interested in with the exchanges linked down below. I use these exchanges, obviously, by the way, you know, so I'd actually be trading on them, of course, primarily Bybit because it is the #1 place to be as a trader. But again, you've got phenomenal no KYC alternatives here that are well worth checking out. 2bit is an exchange which is actually making some waves right now, and they've actually partnered up with DaVinci as well. That was the reason that, you know, I thought it was one of the reasons I thought they were super cool. I met them like, man, when did I meet them? It must have been like 6 months ago now. It was a long time. But yeah, they're worth checking out as well. Again, just a very aggressive bonuses. It's all free money. You can pause the video now, take advantage of it, and come back. All you've got to do with a lot of these exchanges is make your account and start trading, and then they'll give you the free money. So it varies slightly from exchange to exchange, but that's more or less what you're looking at. Now, if we bring it back to the chart here, we're on the daily chart. This just looks like a good chart to me. You know, it looks like you challenged the all-time high, you got a fake out, you had a massive deep pullback, you're now attempting it again, you're consolidating. You know, you're potentially starting to form, you know, a triangle of some sort, right? You can start drawing it like that. You know, you're potentially starting to form a bunch of different things. You could even say that it's more of a kind of falling wedge, which would be amazing too, right? There's a lot of different ways that this can go, but one thing I know for sure based off everything I'm seeing is that this does look pretty damn healthy, pretty clean, and something I like to see. Now, take a look at this. This is the momentum chart. This is the 4-hour EMA ribbon, and we finally got a spread back on the EMA ribbon, right? It's not useful when the lines are like this, but when there's a nice spread between the lines, you can start to expect support in these kind of indicators, and that's what I'm doing here. For me, it stretches all the way down to about 67.7, which is super cool. And again, that just kind of plays back into this middle point on the chart, but there's more. We're still piling more onto this. You know, there's also a couple more tools I want to show you guys. The first one is a Fibonacci. Let's go ahead and throw that on this chart. From that low to the high, and we do have our 382 support here at the $68,200 price level. So I'm just going to drop a line right there, and I'm also going to drop another 2 lines to represent the 618. And now I want to hide this fib, or maybe just reduce the opacity, because it's going to get a little bit confusing. By the way, the reason I didn't make any videos these last couple of days is because I fell sick. But I'm much better now. But yeah, there's very clear support here. It lines up with that Fibonacci level. It lines up with that existing horizontal level that we were talking about earlier on in this video. This analysis is so clean, ladies and gents. It's so crisp. Smash up those likes if you like that stuff. I certainly do. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel confident, you know, about where I think the market can go. And, you know, it's worth noting, you don't always have that confidence. You know, some real talk with you guys for a second. You know, as a trader, a lot of the time, I don't know how often it's going to be. You know, it can be 20% of the time, or it can be fucking 95% of the time. But a lot of the time as a trader, if you're fucking good at what you do and you're honest with yourself, you're going to know that you actually don't know what's going on. You know, you can't make sense of what's going on. You can't make sense of what might happen next. And for a lot of people, that actually bothers them, especially the people that are earlier on in their trading careers. That's actually going to bother them. It's going to make them feel weak. It's going to make them feel worried that they're not going to make money. It's going to, you know, it's going to lead to all sorts of negative things. It might make them feel bad, you know, but ultimately this is just, you know, a trader not understanding the game, you know, because the game is literally this. Like, no one's forcing you to trade. You can wait for the best, most beautiful, perfect opportunities, and you can put the right amount of capital in, which is not too high and not too low, and you'll do well. But oftentimes you don't, and you're the one that kind of stops yourself. A lot of you guys that watch this channel in particular, you know, if you're not trading the way you want to, it's not even necessarily because you're bad at what you do. You know, you're just, you know, there's just little things holding you back that, you know, if one thing was slightly different or that thing was slightly, you can fix all of that with certain things like trading journals, or, you know, obviously those of you that have brought yourselves inside of the VIP group, you know, by following these steps right here. You know, you could definitely, you know, kind of see how I aim to do the same thing as well. Steps are on screen, you know, but I think that's a really important thing to be keeping in mind, because if you can remind yourself when you don't fully get what's going on, you don't fully have a grasp of it, and you can tell yourself that, then that's super cool, because what it means is that you're just not going to make a trade. It's really that simple. All we're trying to do as traders is we want to put our capital at risk when we really feel like we get it. We know what's going on. We feel confident. We understand, you know, what we're doing. And we want to take our capital out when we can't say the same thing, when we don't feel that comfort, when we don't feel that security. You know, and that's really important, because if you can be honest with yourself like that, your capital is only at risk when it's appropriate. You know, these are really basic things, but like, you know, for the bottom line, how do you make money? You only risk it when it's safe to do so, and you only and you always keep it safe because you don't want to lose it. These things are so stupid and blatant, you know, I don't know what the word is, like so obvious to say out loud, but traders don't operate with them. So that's why I wanted to clear this up. So beautiful fib support there. beautiful horizontal support there as well. You know, definitely something that I'm liking there. Now let's take a third tool. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fixed range point of control. And we also have the VPVR, I'm sorry, the point of control right here at 67.2. So that allows me to place another line. And by the way, I mean, you know, this video obviously wasn't scripted or anything, but, you know, the very first things I drew on this chart were this box and this box, right? Because the top box was already here. I drew this box in, and I drew this box in, and what do you have it? The most important Fibonacci level 382, which is the reverse of the 618, so it's the most important Fibonacci level, lines up with the very, you know, pixel perfect top of my box, and so too does the point of control. So again, you know, it's really funny when people say things like analysis doesn't work. That's a lot of confluence. And, you know, it's all lining up because a few shapes look pretty, you know, and they were able to allow us to draw a nice turquoise box on them. You know, I mean, it most definitely works. It's just, you know, when somebody tells you, I don't know, this manual transmission car is not fast, you know, and you've, you know, and it's a fucking Porsche, you're going to be like, bro, maybe it's you. You know, maybe it's not the tool, maybe it's you. But yeah, again, I mean, this is everything I need to see. This is a phenomenal amount of support in a really nice area when the market has already climbed up. We've got EMA support backing that up. Let's take a look at this with the Ichi on the hourly. We've got Ichimoku support on the hourly. It's a good opportunity. That's what I'm saying. You know, if there is an opportunity for Bitcoin to continue rallying up, now makes a lot of sense, because what we had was this key all-time high area getting breached. Now we're breaching it again, but last time we did find support. If we manage to find support again, you know, hopefully it's higher this time. If it's not, well then yeah, I guess we tumble back down and it's the same thing again. Both situations are good. You know, it's going to be less healthy overall if we move up now, because we still need a deeper pullback. You know, but if we do get a deeper pullback, then we're just going to move up even more explosively. So you can't really lose in this situation. It's pretty good. And if all of this does not end up happening and Bitcoin just plunges straight through it, then, like I said, that next key area of support is going to be down here. Regardless of what the picture is, things are looking much clearer right now, ladies and gents, and all of that happens just as a result of taking a bit of time. I do not like getting sick. I'm still a little bit sick right now, maybe you could tell. But one of the things I like about getting sick is that I don't have to come on here and make a YouTube video and tell you guys the same fucking thing over and over and over. Because a lot of people who are consuming content like this, and you need to take yourself out of this if this is you, a lot of people who are consuming content like this on YouTube, Twitter, whatever, they're just constantly fucking shoving their brains with tons and tons and tons and tons of information and dopamine about the markets, hope, you know, desperation and stuff like that, all festering in their mind. And then they're kind of, you know, trying to get a release or get some satisfaction or fulfillment from that, from this kind of content. You need to move away from that. You know, you don't need to have a constant daily scope on the market. In fact, it's really bad for you. You know, you want to be able to, you know, just understand that if nothing big has happened, then nothing big has happened. We don't need to think of the market in terms of time, in terms of, well, it's been a day, you know, or well, it's been a week. We need to think of the market in terms of price levels. And what we have on this chart are some really important price levels. We've got a phenomenal support area here. We've got a phenomenal support area here. And we've got way better support 10K lower than that, 20K lower than that, if we're going to get it. I hope we do. Don't know if we will. You know, but if we do, that would be amazing. You know, and then resistance, we have it right here. It's a very clear image. And until any of these levels get penetrated, there's fucking nothing you can do, mate. There's absolutely nothing you can do. You know, and anything you do try, you probably just be risking your capital. So let me talk to you a little bit about altcoins as well. Ethereum's in an interesting place. It's not as bad as Bitcoin. It's not as good as Bitcoin. If we zoom out and take a look at it, we do have some, you know, potential support right here. It's a weird price range. It's not something I would trade right now. You got to be pretty degen to be looking at markets like that right now, in my opinion. S&P 500 has made a small recovery after a fairly large drop. There's still more of a drop to come on this chart just up to its next area of support, and my god, this next area of support is very local because we literally printed it 20 days ago. You know, this is a very short-term kind of small area of support that could be important for this particular index. And if we take a look at some of the others, yeah, the dollar still kind of peaking up at this 104 resistance area. So if it manages to smash through, that's probably going to be quite disastrous for the S&P 500 and for Bitcoin. But this is an area of resistance, and resistance is where rejections tend to happen. So do you think a rejection will happen? Yes. Well, the inverse correlation typically says that that's going to be a good thing for Bitcoin. So you know, that's something which is worth paying attention to. And then a little bit on the alts as well. And actually, before we get there, I do want to talk to you a little bit more about this. You've got 2.3 million in rewards, which is absolutely sick. There are some really, really cool things with this competition, and all you've got to do is trade. You know, so it's going to be based on volume or PNL, so you're not going to be penalized if you're not trading with much money. I believe there is a minimum balance that you need to hold of 1,000 USDT. I'm not sure if holding the equivalent of that is good, but yeah, you'll see some of that stuff down here. But check that out, because you don't have to do anything different. You've just got to trade here on Bybit using my link. And if you happen to make a lot of money, or even if not, you're enrolled in something and there are gifts for you. So that is super cool. But what's way better than that, in my opinion, is a free fuck you and take your $500 big button here if you want to go long or short on Bitcoin using Bybit, which is super cool, because that is a free position that you can just throw into the market and do anything at all that you like. So very cool. And that is available with this link in the description. Obviously, bear in mind, with all of these companies I'm talking about, you can't use them in certain countries around the world. You're going to be completely blocked from them. It will not work, so don't even try. And of course, some phenomenal other options as well. None of these will work if your country bans them, just to keep that in mind. But there you go, ladies and gents. I hope you have enjoyed this one. You know what to do if you have. Make sure you smash up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all of that good stuff. There are a couple more bits I wanted to go through with you all in this video, but I'm going to save that for the next one, because this one has become pretty long. I know it hasn't. It's only been 17 minutes, but I'm still ending it there. I need a haircut. I need to go take care of myself. Wow. Was I like that the whole... It's all right. Anyway, see you guys in the next one.